Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando, and I'm with Miss O'Shea.
Hi, Armando.
Welcome back, Miss O'Shea.
Thank you.
So glad you've joined us, here. And tell me a little bit about your background, Miss O'Shea, and why I think you're such a great find.
Well, thank you so much. I have been in sales for 30 years, sales and marketing. So spend a good deal of my time. Well, I was going to say talking, but actually, I think I'm a pretty good listener. So this is a perfect position for me because, Armando, you are a talker. I don't know if you knew that.
You're a good listener and talker too. I last week we had a great experience.
It was good.
Yeah, I loved how you engaged and you're in the title industry, right?
I am. I work for Capital Title, and we have 2 offices, or you could say 2.5, because one's on Gosling. It's considered spring, but it's getting a little murky out there. But we have 2 in the Woodlands proper, and I'm in the East Shore office, so we're fancy.
Wow. I love it fancy. You
Yeah,
know, what's not
me
to like
too.
with new and, and I think, everything brand new seems beautiful, right? It gets fluffy.
Sure.
It's got that look. It's got the brand new appeal. But I brought a guy on today, the vice president of sales for Derrick is his name, and he's in the studio with us now. He's the vice president of sales, Derrick Carlson, for American Homes. Derrick, let's get this show started. Welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming.
You bet, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Armando, First America Homes.
First America Homes.
It's so easy to do, but it's
is.
incredibly important to get it. First
America
America. There you go. Now you're
Wait,
talking.
no, I'm really screwing it up. Yeah. First America Homes.
First
I got
America
it.
Homes.
Right.
You
I
got
worked
it.
for First American
Yes.
for a while.
It's a thing? It's a
It
real?
really
I just thought it
is.
was some gibberish.
It
I
happens
shot
all the
off.
time.
And
You wouldn't
there
believe
are
how many times
First
it does.
American, there's a First American, I never worked for it, but some kind of home division. Probably it's not a direct competitor of yours, but it's easy to confuse the names.
Yeah, I would
He's
imagine.
First America.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, what's not is some of the folks you work with, like Signorelli Homes and Signorelli Development. And,
Correct.
And they're working with multiple properties out in our area, like the Deer Pines, Lexington Heights, and what's the other one, the third one?
So we're building in a number of developments out this way, but the big thing where you'd know the Signorelli company is Valley Ranch,
Valley
the
Ranch,
largest
yes.
retail space on the northeast side of town. It's got the most foot traffic of any outdoor retail space in the Houston metro area. So it's a fantastic development.
Well, this guy's Sigma Chi.
I don't know if he.
Sigma Chi.
Yeah, Signorelli. I wasn't sure. Was he Sigma Chi?
I don't know. He's a graduate of Texas A&M. So,
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And where exactly is that community you're talking about that has the foot traffic that's so well populated?
So when you think about
Valley Ranch.
99 and 59, right on that
Okay.
on that area, you're talking about it's primarily retail. Although we will have some new opportunities from a residential perspective coming in 26, which we're extremely excited about.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah,
In
it's
this
gonna be
area?
super cool. Yeah, at 59 and
Oh, well,
99.
there,
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And then I asked that about the Sigma
Yeah.
Chi's because the Signors are from this area here in Montgomery County, and the Signors are also, several of them are Sigma Chi.
Okay.
And different occupations, different walks of life.
Sure.
And where they've grown up. One owns a winery in Fredericksburg. One's a
Cool.
CPA here in town.
When you
and-
say Sigma Chi, do you mean like my brother's a Sigma Chi?
yeah, fraternity.
Okay.
Out of Sam Houston State University. I think most of them went there. The Signors.
Oh, wow,
But
okay.
Signors and Signorellis, of course, two different names. Two different families, I'm sure, right? I've always said, I grew up here. I was always wondering, are they friends? Do they hang out at the
They're all
barbecue together?
Italian, I'm thinking.
I would think.
They're Italian.
Right, there's
I
Italian here.
don't
That's it.
know.
No
But what
doubt.
I do know is they've been here since then, since my college years, since those days with the boys. You know what I mean? And I know they were here, and that confusion was just never something as children we wanted to discuss. It was never like barely know your last name. You know what I mean? But, we were enjoying ourselves and living life here in Montgomery County and with a very small community, and the Signorelli name goes strong and has been for a long time. And with a strong reputation since those days, back in the day,
Right.
and in a part of this community, being involved and being a part of its development to get us to here, like building places like Valley Ranch. And I know the city of Houston's got a little more tenure than mine and Conroe itself and Montgomery itself and the county, but it's developed a lot over the last 20 years, and those have been real impactful. And to see Valley Ranch blossom like it has alongside in the third largest city in the United States, it's nothing to
Nothing to sneeze about.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, for sure. And people, they don't, when they put their livelihood into something and give all they've got, and they're not really easy to hush about something they're not happy with.
For sure.
You're the point of interest for only complaints after the sale, if there are any, right? As they arise.
Yeah.
After I purchase a home from you,
Right.
you only serve one other purpose. I bought my house from you, so I need to make sure that you're in tune with everything I need in all my homes first year. Now, I'm being told that your company offers a 10-year builder warranty.
Yeah, so one of the things that is really, really important, not only is, the initial quality and the experience important, that's one of the things that we really focus on is delivering an experience, right? Anyone can be, you hear the word process all the time, right? Cheese is processed, right?
That's a good point.
It really is. And
It is
I look,
processed.
if you were to talk to any of my salespeople right now, you'd be rolling over right now. They're going, he's saying that actually on radio. I can't believe it. But the reality is no one wants to be processed.
Yeah.
We deliver an experience.
I love that.
Okay. Feel free to use it.
I want to hear when it's time. I want to hear about the experience from start to finish, because it is one of the best times in someone's life.
100%.
Is buying that, and it's so much fun to be a part
Absolutely.
of the home buying process. That moment where you hand over the keys. I don't think there's anything better.
There's absolutely nothing
And
better.
so I want to hear how you do the whole experience when it's
Yeah.
appropriate. Is now a
Sure,
good
sure.
time?
I was thinking titles probably gets that limelight. They're
We
like,
do.
you're stealing their show. You can be there.
Well, the home builder, though, if there's a home builder, that's the be all end all. They're
Yeah,
buying a
sure,
brand new
sure.
home. It's a present. It's got a big bow on it, basically, because it's all brand spanking,
That's
sparkly
right.
new.
That's
It's
right.
pretty exciting.
But
to build
everything,
a home.
and just to regress before we lose
Yeah.
the thought, everything new seems nice. And in actuality, it is, no matter what the integrity value is. You could do a prop-up house for me, and I could do something in there for a day, and it would be nice.
There are
But
some
if I want to
terrible
spend
home
my
buyers.
life in a home,
Yeah.
and I want to invest in a property,
Yeah.
it's something else. New doesn't always hold like integrity does. So new has, paper thin this, paper thin that, and I could build a stage set for Universal Studios. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this regard.
Sure.
And make it beautiful and make it nice
Mm-hmm.
where you'd enjoy it. You'd enjoy your time in it. But could you enjoy your life in it?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we embrace that 10-year warranty, that integrity of a build, the things you bring from Valley Ranch to Conroe, the experience where you're not learning on my dime. And
Right.
and I love that. I get it. Every company has to learn, and you'll learn. Oh, we'll learn every year as we go along. Well, yeah, but not with my investment. You know what I mean? Please,
Absolutely.
I
That's a
get
good
it.
point.
Please
Absolutely.
keep learning. Don't stop doing that, but don't let me pay for it.
Well, the great thing is we've learned a lot over the 15 years that we've been doing this. And one of the things that we find is most important is that peace of mind that people have, right? They want to know that not only have they purchased a home from a reputable organization, right? People that actually know how to do the job,
Yeah.
but someone that's going to stand behind it. Really, really important, right? So, we have a 10-year structural warranty, which is 4 years longer than the requirement in the
I was
state of
going
Texas.
to ask you,
Yeah.
what's standard?
Yeah.
Obviously, 6 years
6
is the
years,
minimum.
yeah. So we go to 10 on that, and that's just
Excellent.
one of the things that we do. We have something that's really, really important. We call it 224/7. Okay, so you've got a 2-year limited warranty on the home itself. Okay, which is a year longer than you're going to find from most other builders in the market. When you talk about the 24 refers to the amount of time it takes us to respond to that initial warranty service request. Okay, so our commitment is not only are we going to stand behind the home for 10 years structurally, we're going to provide you that 2-year limited warranty and stand behind it there. we're going to respond to your request within 24 hours.
That is huge.
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah, for sure.
huge.
Because I mean, you're
People walk away from it. I mean, I collected your money. Of course, I'll deal with your warranty issue, but I'm not
Deal
going to
with
deal
it.
with it. Yeah,
That's
I'm not going to
exactly
do it.
right. Deal
Right,
with it.
Right.
Right.
and 10 years is you're
But it's the 2-year stuff that's going to.
you got to have some faith that right. If you don't build it well, and if you chose crappy products, I mean, granted that new microwave looks really good, right? That new microwave looks awesome, comes out of a similar
Right.
box, but it breaks regularly, and everybody complains about the same thing about that same microwave, and it comes out of that same box, right?
Exactly.
And if I put it in every house, if I put the wrong hammer in the toilet, everybody's house within the first year is going to flood, right? If I put the wrong carpet on the floor, everybody's going to get asbestos poisoning, right? So there's some details that come with the integrity and the scars and the pains and the growing pains that your company's already gone through. That
Yeah.
their company, Signorelli's already gone through, and we've lived it. I mean, they've outlived us. We've seen them do great things, and they're doing great things here. Acreage and more subdivided, smaller lots like Lexington Heights, where it's a quarter acre or something.
So
like
let me just close the loop on
Yeah.
the warranty, because it's really important. The 7 component of that, right? So we're going to address your concern in 24 hours. We're going to acknowledge it, right? Because acknowledgement is important. And then our commitment is to have it resolved within 7 business days. Okay.
Yeah.
That is
That's the
tight
the
customer
other part of it,
service.
right? Because the last thing you want now, of course, you've got to be available for us, right?
Well, the last thing you want is having 500 guys going on 24/7 calls all day long every day. So the way you stop doing that, and that doesn't happen, and they're not a factor, and we should move on in this conversation, is that we build with integrity, and we're not getting phone calls.
And that's absolutely
But
right.
Yeah,
there are going to
so
be
w-
phone calls.
Maybe. Let's hope not. But less is better.
Less is better.
Less is better.
Doing it
We
right
all
the first
agree.
time is always
you're going
the
to pay
best.
either way.
Yeah,
You're going to pay on the
absolutely.
back or the front, and I like that confidence. I think that speaks on its own.
Yeah.
It stands on its own. It's got good legs. That's good stuff. The guy's going to put 10 years behind it. I don't need to ask a lot of questions. I really.
But people will. People will. Let me
Fine.
tell you, they will.
Sure, I want
They
to know
will.
that's for real.
It's because regardless of whatever dollar amount the investment is, it's incredibly personal to them, right? Whether it's $250,000 or $1 million, $250 to that individual paying $250 is a ton of money,
It's
right?
everything they have and more.
Absolutely. So we want to value and respect that investment, regardless of what price point it is.
Okay. So change the page a bit, and just I think an integral build's integral build, but nice things. Who doesn't like nice things? Everybody likes nice things, but I can't afford it. But then you get the rental market that's telling you the same thing. The rental's getting crazy. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. The rental market's getting crazy. Then you've got an Airbnb market, which is all brand new, right? You add this third element to your mix, and you put that in there, and you find, okay, I can earn revenue from a home, and now how do I do my business well? So building a good Airbnb business. So all of these things all factor in low overhead, low cost, operational cost, or low home ownership cost, or a low investment to get in. So if I'm a first-time home buyer,
Right.
I think that you're an ideal fit. You're bringing in a lot of little pieces into play that are attractive. And when I think about it, I don't think about it as home versus home. I think about it home versus rental. Right. Home ownership versus rental. Not really this house versus that, which I'm sure that's the world you're living in. But I feel like that's not the world I'm living in. Right. The world I'm living in is saying I want to either rent or own. Right. Not own that or own that. Right.
Well, a first-time
I'd
home
love to be
buyer,
there. Yeah.
They're making that decision to move from renting to owning.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, their goal is to make that leap as small as possible.
Right.
And sometimes what these kids find out, if they're young when they're buying their first home, is that with the kind of deals he's offering, they might end up paying less in a mortgage than they do for their rent.
And I've seen some payments around $1,875,
Right? That
$1,850,
No question
and
about it.
like $2,500 assisted deposit, asterisk. But
It's
to
just
get
scary.
in, you can get some real simple move-in
It's
stuff.
it's scary, you're right. And why is that? It's because no one teaches us how to do this.
That's so true.
Right? You think about it, I mean, unless your parents set you up or taught you how to do stuff,
Right.
you're not going anywhere to learn how to do any of these things, right?
Your parents don't take you along with them when they buy their house.
That's exactly
so
right.
you have no experience at this.
You have no idea. And so you're left on your own. So hopefully you've got a quality real estate agent who can help you. But the reality of the situation is it's so much easier than most people realize it is, right? Yes, I've got to have an initial investment. That investment is anywhere between $2,500 and $5,000 in our case, right? So we do want you to have a little bit of skin in the game. It's important.
But who's
right?
not? No, pump the brakes right there. If I'm moving into an apartment today, and it's $1,500 to $1,800 a month, and they need the first and last, and they're going to need, so we're $3,000-4,000. You're right down the middle of your sweet spot.
Yeah.
You're putting right into my track. All I need is good credit.
You know what? The interesting thing is there are so many solutions that people can explore, right? Quality lenders. We work with a company called Stone Meadow Lending. Okay. It's part of our affiliate business. And the reality of their situation is it's about finding ways to say yes and not ways to say no.
I love that.
Right?
That's exactly right.
Sure.
A good company can usually find that solution for
Absolutely.
you. There are very few people that can't get a house that want one.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's the bottom
Those
line.
poor lending folks, they gotta go through an act of Congress to do advertising or even come on our show.
Who?
Lenders.
Oh, well, yeah.
They've got
bad
all
rap,
these
man.
these restrictions, and I wish they could get competitive. I think that would serve us well. You know what I mean? I wish they could get out there and really show a public.
Well, I don't know how new home builders do it. I don't know how
Yeah, me
lenders
neither.
that work with you do it.
Right.
But this 1, 2, 3 buy down, I mean,
Right.
it's outrageously awesome.
Yeah, it sure
It is awesome.
So one of the big concerns, and you guys know this, when you're starting in especially your first home, you're concerned about, can I afford it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But the reality in almost every situation is over time, you're going to earn more money. You're going to get the promotion. You're going to get the new job that's better and
up.
provides you more resources. And the reality with a buy down program like that is the opportunity to start at an initially lower payment, and then each year it adjusts slightly, right? Well, the great news is next year you're probably getting a raise. The year after that, maybe you've got a better job, a better position.
Yeah.
And so over time, over the 2 or 3 years that the rate adjusts to its final. So for example, you can start at $299, goes to $399, $499, and then fixes at $599.
Which
right?
is still
Which is a
lower,
Right.
but significantly by a point than
It'll
where
move your
we're-
monthly. It'll hedge the
Absolutely.
monthly a bit.
But
just
the
a bit.
rest of us that are buying resale homes
Yep.
are dealing with an almost 7%.
That's exactly right.
And
So-
That's
potentially
exactly right.
home maintenance and reparations. So you're
That's a
also
good
maybe
point.
my AC blew out, or maybe I made a bad call on this used
Absolutely.
house, or maybe I don't have a 10-year warranty.
That's right.
Well, your inspector better be great.
But that's an addition, right? So now you've saved a nickel on your lending, and maybe
It's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, these
Sure, this is good.
programs are fantastic.
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. They allow people that dream, right? And when we're
Yeah.
talking about, to me, okay, the difference between renting and home ownership is wealth creation, right?
Yes.
That's the other secret that you really don't learn about, right? Maybe not your first home, but over time, right?
Getting the mindset.
Absolutely. That's how difficult is it for the average person to save $10,000 a year? It very, very difficult unless you're investing in your 401k or whatever. But the reality is over time, when the equity in your home position grows, right?
Yeah.
And at some point in the future, my wife and I recently sold our home we've been in for 20 years. Okay. It was a big deal for us. We'd raised our family in this home.
long time.
It was a significant thing, right?
Yeah.
The reality is the equity that we'd had in our home over those 20 years, I mean, it was an absolute blessing, right? And to think about the opportunity to take that and to reinvest it into our next place, or to look at, helping my 2 children in college, or,
Definitely.
paying for, I've got 2 girls, so there's 2 weddings I got to pay for. So, all those things are really,
Yeah.
really
When I think about
important.
wealth creation, and I think about breaking the shell, right? Because you got to break a shell here, right? You got to come out, right? Because you get on the treadmill of rent, and the treadmill of rent puts you in a mindset where, can I put away $10,000 to dance that? No, I couldn't keep this tread. When I develop wealth, you're referring to the payment and the home value.
Correct.
Right. And so when I look at a payment and a home value, well, the home depreciates. It appreciates based on the property. I could do either. You know, we our area
Only
of course,
only
our
two
area.
times in the last 30
Yeah.
years have we had that situation happen
Armando,
where things have pulled
honestly,
back. So
it's such a good investment because it appreciates typically 5% over 6 years. Almost, I mean, like almost without any differences there.
we've been so
retention.
blessed in Houston, really looking
It's a
at
safe bet.
about 2.5 to 3% is what we've seen annually.
Yes.
And I think that's a challenge for a lot of people, you know, because one of the things that when every year, it's kind of like every day someone's being born. You know, like every minute someone passed away,
Right.
and every day somebody
Sure.
got born. Well, every day somebody's lease is up.
Yeah.
Right. Every day somebody's term is ready to
Yeah.
be your next customer and walk into their first home,
No doubt.
or choose to move from one rental property to another
Right.
and take everything, an address, a school, a field, the family, and everything, upload them all, buy the moving truck, which takes that double down payment to another $1,000 on the move itself.
At least,
Utilities,
yeah.
deposits, reacquaintances with everything else. You're pushing the $3,500 that it takes to step into new home ownership, or at least to start. Right, and if you've been renting for a few years, couple years, you have a great opportunity to get that right credit to be able to make this step. And your people, right there on site at whatever these properties, whichever one of them, they're right there to walk them through the whole process. How does that work with the
Yeah.
licensed realtor? And when I close, and
Yeah.
if I were to walk in, how does that happen?
It's a great question. So a lot of folks think, oh my gosh, I have to have a real estate agent. Look, we encourage our buyers to seek professional representation, right?
Which is very ethical.
It's incredibly important, right?
Well, what that means is you're paying that buyer's
Absolutely.
agent, and a lot of home builders would say, you know what, you don't need representation, you don't need a realtor. This is all pretty standard here. It's a new home. You don't need that. So it's very ethical to say you need representation, and we're going to pay for it.
That's awesome.
No
Yeah.
question about it. It's important. So if a buyer chooses, fantastic, they can have their realtor with them. We try to build that relationship with the real estate community because we want them to know where we're at, right? And to understand that we're the safest commission that they're going to have, especially in today's real estate market.
What do you mean when you say the safest commission?
Yeah, so
Question. I like that.
there was some recent changes to the way that realtors operate.
Oh, you mean with the buyer's agency fee and all?
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now, you're a realtor, you're representing a client, you've got to have them sign a document that basically says that if the seller doesn't pay them, that the buyer will pay them. And that's frankly, it's insane. So realtors
It's a
absolutely
non-starter.
do not have to worry about that when they're dealing with First America Homes, right?
That's an excellent point. They
Absolutely.
don't even have to have that conversation
Simple.
if they go straight to
Simple.
your place.
Let's pay
and
them.
I've seen this integration of embracing the realtor market, and that's one of the reasons that you got on our radar is that we saw you embracing realtors and bringing them in, and the dynamic was a bit confusing. Why, what piece did I miss? And so I was informed what you just shared with us about things changing. The way the system works changed, and that brought on the next layer of realtor confidence in bringing a buyer to you directly
Absolutely.
and letting you handle the finish all the way to close.
Absolutely. We want them to first of all to know that we're out there and where we're located.
And a realtor can help with that.
Absolutely. 21 locations around the Houston metro area right now. We're really focused. Majority of our communities happen to be in the Northeast, North, and Northwest. So you can find us in a lot of different locations. But what we want the real estate community to understand is bring them to us. We're going to give you a fantastic experience. We're going to pay you fairly,
That's
like you deserve,
excellent.
right?
Yeah.
And we're going to take excellent care of your customer. So that's, we try to make it as easy as possible.
And they're going to, in turn, bring you more customers.
That's the goal,
they're-
right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I would. I mean, if
absolutely
they
the
made
goal.
it easy for me, I mean, if I was able to drop, it's like dropping your kids off at Chuck E. Cheese. I mean,
You'd like to think.
yeah, let me drop my buyer off at
Yeah.
First America. They're going to do
Yeah.
the paperwork.
You don't need
They-
to drop them off.
I'll pick them up at closing. You know what I mean? I'll
Good
pick. No, we can't do that. No.
If they wanted to, they could, though. That's
Right.
the
They-
great thing,
that
right?
is really true.
This is
They're
what
good
we
at
do
it, yeah.
every day.
But no one's going to steal my deal.
Isn't it great to know
Yeah.
that that
Y'all are
you,
talking about advanced stuff. I mean, nobody's going to steal my deal.
Yeah.
we're absolutely not going to steal your deal.
Yeah.
You register your
That's-
buyer with us, you're covered, you're safe.
That's beautiful. That's
No,
like
it
dropping
really
your
is.
kids off.
It is really nice for realtors to do new home builds. It is nice for them if they get paid,
100%.
right?
And that day's come. That day's come. Right? There's been changes.
Yes,
It's
and
a better
different-
place.
I'm sure he may not want to address it here. They have different home builders. Some of them won't pay, but they have all different ways. Some of them give a spiff of some kind, a
Right.
couple of $1,000,
Right.
and then less than the commission. It's all different ways
Right.
that they do it.
Yeah, so we believe in transparency. I mean, we're very, very simple.
love that.
You're a real estate agent. We're going to pay you 3%. We're actually, give you a little bit of a teaser, July 10th at our office in the Woodlands, we're hosting a realtor event. The invitations have been sent out. Well, we're actually going to talk with realtors about
Strange.
our new real estate program, where we're actually going to do some awesome things for realtors that we're extremely excited to. I'm not going to be able to share these
You can't
specifics
share it?
here today, but
Nobody will come to
that's
the
for the
meeting.
folks. Right. That's
I
for the
want to
folks.
know though.
I would love to. I'd love to be able to share it with
Give a
you.
little bit of
Yeah.
something.
Super
It's
excited.
going to be really important. It's going to be fantastic. Beautiful stuff. It's going to be great stuff.
Well,
It's
we
going to be
can't tell you about
fantastic.
it.
Best stuff ever.
You know how it
But
goes.
the deal is, even though I don't get to do title for you guys
Yeah.
because you have your internal people.
Yes, ma'am.
My realtors are my biggest priority.
Absolutely.
So they're not going to always do business with me. So when they're not, and I have something to say that's great about a new home builder, we're supposed to be good partners to them.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't always mean that they come to me. It means
Absolutely.
that they also have a good mix of new homes, and I can't wait to hear about what you're going to do for them.
Yeah, we're really, really excited about it. It's, it really is a partnership, right? The word
For sure.
partnership is important. We want it to be simple for the realtors, but we want to encourage them, to be confident in the experience that we provide them, and to make sure that they know that we're absolutely going to take care of their customers. So,
Now, can you guys have a great program with the lender? Do they have to use your lender?
so when you think about builders and lenders, right? There's always if I use your lender, and there's always this connection, and people get nervous about it. And the reality is this: as a home builder, especially as a guy who's responsible for sales, I can
Right.
tell you the most important thing is to understand that if you're bringing a buyer into one of our communities, that they can actually purchase the home.
Good
Right?
point.
And that their lender is going to stay with them the entire time, because building a home from dirt, you're talking about approximately 6 months with us, right? So you want to make sure that 6 month period, that the buyer knows that they're going to be able to close on the home, because they've got a lender that understands them and makes sure that they're doing the right
Right.
things.
Oh, I
Right?
know. I think we're touting a little bit much on the lender.
Right? I mean,
Man,
well,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
you come back,
sure,
throw it back
of
at me.
course.
I know you probably get fielded with this stuff all the time, but
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you a story. Veteran, 20-year veteran. He's retired, and he going under the VA agreement, trying to get his lending.
Sure.
He can't because of the home pricing interest, and they added the escrow to the lending and pushed him out of his yes and put him into a no, because the tax rate, they wanted to escrow the whole thing, and then it made
That
it.
particular lender, the way the points
the
worked.
way the lender worked, yeah. And so one of the things that happens is if you lower the interest rate, like 1.7%,
Buy down a point.
or you bring down these little factors,
Sure.
like Lexington Heights. I mean, I was talking with Freddie George, who's one of your
Yeah.
representatives out there. Lexington
Absolutely.
Heights, sharing some of the ways that if you bring the tax rate is lower here.
Yep.
The cost is lower here.
Yep.
There's no need for the escrow, and we can go with his original approval.
well, the interesting thing
And then boom,
is,
we
I don't.
got magic.
there is, so the VA is going to operate pretty standard across, regardless of what lender you're operating
Right.
under. But the difference, and you hit on a really, really key point, is tax rate. Here's some things that most buyers don't think about, okay? You're just concerned with your principal and interest, right? What rate are you going to give me? Well, that's incredibly important. I completely understand. It's also important to consider the other factors. What are those other factors, okay? Tax rate, incredibly important. So think about it. You're in most new communities today, you're going to pay somewhere around around north of 3%, 3.5%, 3.75%,
Yeah.
right? You're paying a ton of money, right? That's to an entity, a municipal utility district for water and sewer, right? It's the infrastructure for communities. It's how communities are developed. Well, when you're in a situation where you've got you're in an existing utility district, right? Or you've done some other creative things, you can offer a tax rate that's substantially lower than what you could find in other places. 1.5,
That's great.
1.75, 2%.
But the lending's considering this number, right?
Think about the
Sure,
difference.
but that's a big part of your payment. And homeowners
Absolutely.
insurance now, and I hadn't thought about
That
this.
is huge.
But what is your homeowners insurance on a brand new house?
100%. No, absolutely no one thinks about that. And especially
It's
in today's
huge
world
now.
with everyone's roof situation, right?
Oh,
How
it's
many roofs have
terrible.
been replaced over the last 20 years? Well, guess what? The insurance companies now are like,
All
It's
of them.
10 years.
All of them. Yeah.
They won't insure over 10
that
It's
is
bad
that
right
is
now. And
absolutely
you
ridiculous.
might have
right.
paid
didn't know that. I thought it was 20.
1,800.
I know it's
Like
20.
I think mine
Yeah.
used to be like 1,800, 1,500. I
5,000
think it's
plus.
4,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, 4 or 5.
absolutely.
So, these young people buying a house, they're
Right.
not thinking, okay, my house payment is 1,500. Oh gosh, now here's my taxes, insurance, all this stuff. It's another 1,000.
Yep.
They're not thinking about that. Now my payment's 2,500, and I thought it was 1,500. That's a big deal,
And the
you're not
seller
going to
always
have
wants-
that in the new home.
It's so much more affordable
I never
in
thought about
every
that.
single way, from the opportunity to provide special financing programs
Yeah.
to lower tax rates in many of
And
our communities,
homeowners
and
insurance.
homeowners insurance that's incredibly reasonable versus 5-year-old homes,
prices
7-year-old.
people out of home.
Absolutely.
Or holding your breath as a seller, saying my buyer's going to pay for the new roof. We're going to add that to the deal. Challenging your realtor a little further. Let me add $5,000 to your whole process. And
Yeah.
Let me complicate it.
It's always the roof and the air conditioning.
Yeah, let me put
100%.
stuff in there.
You're exactly right.
Yeah,
That's
let me
exactly
make it more
it.
difficult
Yeah.
for
That's
the,
exactly it.
Always the husband.
So it's really nice to
Yeah.
see when we talk new, we have the beauty, we have the shine, the shimmer,
Sure.
the stuff that's attractive, because all new is attractive, right?
Yes,
We can
it
all
is.
agree there. If it's new, it's
It
attractive.
looks nice.
Yeah,
for sure.
living in it is another story, right? And so when we change the page to say, well, is this my future home? Is this where I'm going to live?
Right.
And is this something that's worthy of an investment that actually accrues one other than on paper?
Sure.
I mean, if my house is falling apart but paper says I've got a lot of equity in this leaning home, well, good luck redeeming
Right,
it,
right.
and so I feel like integrity still holds the strongest leg of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And so in any case scenario, I like that when Conroe doesn't play with reviews, right? If you so much as if you invite me to a free dinner, I would have no problem going on Yelp complaining about the free dinner and how it went if it was bad,
Yes,
right?
quality
Yeah.
has to be good.
Well, welcome to Conroe. We got no problem with
And
that.
the
We're going to
Woodlands.
throw rocks at your free dinner, But
Right.
but you asked me to try it out.
Yeah.
I did, and then I did a Yelp review. It's like what, So I think when you survive a Montgomery County and the city
Right.
of Houston for as many years as Signorelli has, and you guys have,
Yeah.
what you build is this certainty of integrity that we can't just sit here and talk about because we're all salesmen. They
That's
know,
right.
they already know. We put it in. It's probably under our name right now. But nevertheless, the truth is the proof's in the pudding. The
Right.
proof's in the pudding. You can go anywhere you want to find Signorelli or First American, and you're
Yep.
going to find positive reviews, great reviews, good stories, good homes, and homes still standing. They're there.
That's the key,
Go
right?
visit it.
That's
Yeah.
the key.
Go visit it. Go
Yeah.
walk it. And then see how many people are listing these homes, and you go look at those houses.
Well, and what you're hoping is that the realtors, he's having this event coming up, and the idea is if I'm listening to you, you're my buyer, and I'm listening to you, hopefully I'm going to get a signal and go, oh, you know what, you might be a great candidate for a new home, and here's why,
Yeah.
and I can tell you why, and that's double exciting.
And then you
Not
can
only
go in
do
there
I
and make
get to have
33%.
Yeah, well, but not only do I get to have a new home when I'm 25, I also get, not only do I get a home, I get a new home.
Yeah.
Pretty cool for a young person.
And think about this, right? When you think about and we've all owned homes and we know the cost of home ownership, right?
Yeah.
those first 2 years, you don't want to think about anything. I just bought
sure
something
don't.
new. This is
You
beautiful,
put every
right?
dime you have
That's
into it.
exactly right. You've invested all you got in many cases,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
And the last thing you want to do is, something goes wrong, you got to go out and buy something else, right? Well, I'm just trying to make the mortgage payment,
Right.
And so having that peace of mind, it's all about peace of mind.
Yeah, it sure
really,
is.
really is.
Yeah, nobody wants to worry. I remember, this was 30 years ago, but two of my friends that, married, they bought their first home. Nobody told them there wasn't going to be a refrigerator there.
Oh no!
They spent, they were
What the
like,
hell's the washer and dryer?
they were like 25, and they had to have a cooler
Oh, my
for like a
goodness.
month. It was hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
But that's the stuff that people don't
They
know.
don't- they don't think
You
about
know,
it, right.
I can't.
Once you've bought a house one time,
You know.
you get it.
That's right.
But
The new
your
day and
first
age is-
one.
I remember growing up, and there was like what was it, 2920 in Spring, Bridgestone, Dove Meadows, Northampton. That if you're around from this era, you know what I'm talking about. That was it, right? That was it. And Bridgestone was 50s to 80s. Right, and if you it's 50s to 75, and if
That's
you
like the home
if you-
price?
yeah, that's Bridgestone West, and if you crossed over to the new Bridgestone, the modern one across the street, you were talking about 60 to 85.
That's a
Wow.
truck. That's a truck payment right now.
Yeah, and rent.
Trucks are
rent. We were
100.
talking
You're right.
20 years ago.
That's
we
a
were
cheap
talking
truck, yeah.
Rent
Yeah.
was $500 a month, $750. You get an apartment,
Yes.
a 2-bedroom,
Yeah.
3-bedroom apartment,
Yeah.
and about half that was what you
Rent's
needed to get in.
$2,000.
Yeah, rent's
$1,800
$2,000
to
now,
$2,000.
and you need first and last, and your monthly is going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000.
If somebody,
standard? So.
what's the average walking out the door monthly payment on your $250,000?
Yeah.
guesstimated average?
So
We
when-
realize
Well, I'm not holding you to
Yeah,
it.
so
Dirty number.
This might be a
when
hard-
you're talking about if they're using one of our buy down programs on one of our
Right.
homes, obviously significantly less, but realistically you're going to be in that 22, 23, 2400 square
Price
dollar
point.
range, correct?
Yeah, $2,200.
brand new home.
And that's where tax rate makes a huge difference.
sure
That's how we can in many cases get to very, very reasonable overall costs on a monthly basis. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So tell me, what's the? It's a lot of growth out here, a lot of
Yeah.
expansion here
Yeah.
in this area.
You
Tell
bet.
me a little bit about
You
your
bet.
plans for the Montgomery County area.
You bet. So, my goodness, we're literally we've been in Montgomery County a long time, and we're going to continue to do that. So, you mentioned Lexington Heights, just up the road a piece. We've got a community called Meadow Park, which is right off 105, and Waukegan Road, if you're familiar with that.
I just want to say it a lot.
Yeah. We've got a community called Deer Pines, which is another really, really cool
Deer
part
Pines
of
is
our
on
business.
Willis Waukegan, right?
It's
Down to the left.
it's in that
Willis
general range. Yeah.
Waukegan.
It's but it's a super special. Oh my goodness.
It is. It's on the east.
He can't be controlled.
He really can't. Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah. I was not. My wife said don't talk too much, but I
You
think I'm
can't.
covered. Right. I'm covered.
You're covered.
Yeah, I'm
You're
covered.
good.
You're good.
But here's the other cool part of what we do. So we talked about allowing folks the opportunity to have that first time home experience, right? But we also do some cool stuff on the other side of the spectrum where, let's say, you've been in a home for a while, or even if you haven't, and I just need more space. You know what? I don't want to be right on top of my neighbor. I want a little bit of space to, perhaps I want to put a shop in the back. I want to make sure I've got a nice swimming pool that's sizable, right? What happens in those types of situations when you're on the typical home site in a normal community? You can't do it,
That's right.
right? So a community like Deer Pines provides you the opportunity to have up to an acre, actually in some cases a little bit over an acre, right? Where you can have a wonderful home. You can also then have all the fun stuff, especially in Montgomery County, where we know we like all our outdoor stuff. We like our fun toys and all that good stuff. You want to shop? Great. You got space to put it out there. You want a great
Your
pool?
3-car
Absolutely.
garage.
100%.
Your tall,
Restrictions?
extra tall.
Absolutely.
Is your property
So
restrictions?
there's always going to be some level of restriction,
Yeah.
but the cool thing is, and if you have an opportunity to drive out there, I encourage anyone listening, if you have an opportunity to drive Deer Pines, take a look, see what some of the folks have done out there. There's some spectacular things in the
bet.
backyards. Oh my goodness, they're absolutely awesome. I mean, like I'm jealous when I drive through that neighborhood. So
So you've got a lot of developments, and I'm just curious. You know, one of the Willis Waukegan was such a crazy word growing up out here. It's like, where does this word come from? But if you go like to Fredericksburg, Blanco, and all the way out to San Antonio, where a lot of other properties are that you guys, I'm sure, work regularly. Bronzeville, Fredericksburg. You got a lot of the German-esque. Is there anything in between San Antonio and here, and where in San Antonio is your development?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we've been in the San Antonio market about a little over 2 years. And the fantastic, opportunities that San Antonio is a great market.
Yeah,
it really is. 100%.
For your product, it's good.
You know, when you think about the state of Texas, we are so blessed.
Yes, we
So I don't know that everyone understands truly how blessed we are in the state of Texas for so many reasons. But
affordable homes are a big part of it.
Affordability. Folks continue to come to the area. I mean, you think about what's happened, and I'll take a step back. You think about the Houston metro area adding about 200,000 residents in 2024. You think about adding 43,500 new jobs last year. Okay,
I didn't know that.
And a majority of those are jobs that can allow folks to buy a home. Right? You think about where we're at from an interest rate perspective. Okay, things have been a little bit flat. Okay, but then you think about inflation. We're at the lowest inflation level since 2021 at just over 2.4%.
That's great.
So all the wonderful things that are happening in our market today, speaking to affordability, speaking to just the opportunity to create that wealth. So back to San Antonio, 10 locations in San Antonio right now. Literally, I think 3 that are starting or have started in the last couple of months. So it's really a fantastic market for us. And San Antonio's been growing not quite as rapidly as we have in Houston, but certainly experienced a ton of growth as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
didn't know it was growing.
Absolutely.
I think of it as like a quiet little, the Alamo. And
yeah.
Is there anything between here and there? Do you have any communities?
Yeah, so as far west as we go in the Houston metro is Sealy. Okay.
Well,
so
it's out there a bit,
it's almost out to Columbus, almost out
Yeah,
Schulenburg,
yeah.
right? So we're in Sealy. And
piece.
oh my goodness. And
It's a short drive.
it's a little bit of a commitment from here down to there, but that's one of the locations that we've got this acreage that I've been telling you about. We've got another community called South Fork Ranch. Stole the name from the show Dallas, right?
Absolutely.
But it's another acreage opportunity, which is absolutely spectacular. So yeah, we're not in between yet, but
I'm sure you will be.
Would you regard your San Antonio projects as family
100%. Yeah, 100%.
New home buyer.
We do the same stuff there, relatively speaking, as we do here.
Okay.
We've got acreage opportunities in San Antonio. A matter of fact, a couple of the new neighborhoods we're adding to San Antonio. People have been starved for that, right?
Yeah,
Affordable
Uh-huh.
acreage opportunities.
For sure.
Yeah,
And they've been
so.
shunned in the rental category. It's been tough. They feel like they merit it, and it's like, great. Well, yeah, I guess you could turn it into that Airbnb and have that successful Airbnb business, or you could charge me an arm and a leg for the same property.
Well, good luck managing your Airbnb too,
Yeah,
right? Are you
all
hiring
the
somebody,
above,
or are you
but
going to do it yourself? And you know how
therefore,
difficult that is? Oh my
But
goodness.
then they weigh this value out, and they feel like their home is worth this much on a monthly basis, and then the rent turns into it, right?
Yeah.
So you're down to just apartments at that point because the home owner is in a different mindset, and rightfully so at the moment, and so you end up in this different posture that puts that home rental less likely. It moves it further away, and you're more constricted to apartments. Now, as far as first home buyers, if I'm in a new relationship and I'm a new wife and I have a new family, and
What's he doing?
Here we
I
go.
moved to San Antonio.
Right.
Well,
This big love affair.
well, good,
is
yeah.
taking
Well, I'll
place
tell you
in
right
San
now,
Antonio.
it's going to be a long,
You're
beautiful
taking
marriage.
that love show on the road.
There
to
you
San
go.
Antonio?
It's going to be a long, beautiful marriage and a
It's
great
thrilling
first
you.
home ownership, and I'll tell you why. 2 reasons why.
Give it to me.
San Antonio is going to keep you your marriage and family great. Is that every guy at every club and every bar in San Antonio looks like Ricky Martin or Julio Iglesias in their prime. Good luck, fellas.
Nice.
If you're single and looking to mingle, don't go to San Antonio. You know what I mean? I'll tell you right now.
That's
There are a bunch of
for them.
great looking Latinos out there. You don't want to be there. You just move on. Single guys. I want to go. I want to go to Minnesota, where I might be the only Hispanic guy there.
would be.
Yeah. My odds go way up. Everybody.
Hey, speaking of profiles,
Yeah.
not speaking of people who are nuts, but people, but
Come on.
profiles.
It's a real deal. That's real
What's your
talk.
typical client at the non-acreage? What's the typical client?
Oh my goodness.
I know they vary, but
Yeah.
you see a lot of what?
Yeah. So those folks looking for that initial opportunity, whether it be a single person, whether it be a young married couple,
Okay.
we have certainly those opportunities. We also have it the other way around, where folks have had. I've had this before.
Yeah.
Right. I still want something nice.
But I'm
going
to downsize.
I don't need 3,000 square feet anymore. 2,200 square feet will do it for me. You know.
That's a nice size.
And so we've got the opportunity to do that. So, it's really just everyone needs a place to live. Everyone's going to pay something to live there,
Good
right?
point.
So why not, do it in a place that makes you happy and allows you the opportunity for something that's yours instead of someone else's.
Well, Derrick, I tell us how to find you, the things that your company wants to share, what you'd like to put to the public. Where's that? Is you
Sure.
on social media?
So firstamericahomes.com is the place to go. And I'd love to say, I'll give you a little secret, Armando. I'm a little older, okay, and so the whole social media game is not in my bag, if you will.
Yeah.
So we've got Facebook. I think it's Facebook, First America Homes, Instagram. All the kids will know all the locations.
Right.
But really, firstamericahomes.com is the place to go, and you'll be able to see both markets, San Antonio and Houston. It's a really, really easy, navigable website that is pretty awesome. So,
Derrick, I'm so glad you took the time. I know you're a really busy guy. They got you all over the place, literally all over the place.
Are you managing the sales reps in San Antonio?
So no,
too?
I'm blessed to.
You're in Houston.
I'm Houston based. That's
You're
the
not
market that I
managing
know.
his love affair in San
No,
Antonio.
I don't have to worry about Ricky Martin's
Yeah.
or whoever else is.
Julio Iglesias,
Julio Iglesias,
Junior.
right? I don't have
The
to worry about any
the
of that
young,
stuff.
really handsome one. Those guys, they're killing it out there.
No, I don't have to worry about that.
And do you know they turned Pearl, the brewery, into a
It's a hotel now, isn't it?
yeah, it's really
I think
nice.
so.
They,
I bet
they
that's
changed it.
cool.
Historical marker did
Yeah.
really good. Bear County's doing great things, and right here at home in Montgomery County, we can still get a date here. There no Ricky
You can
Martin.
get a
I'm
date?
there. Yeah.
Are you dating?
I am. Why?
Oh, wow.
Are you dating?
I'm not dating. I'm married.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm
You're
married,
just
I'm
curious.
not dating.
You're just
It's real
curious.
serious.
Yeah.
It's
You're
serious.
putting that one in for me. That was a plug, so I could say it out loud.
Absolutely.
So, well, thank you.
What dating
I
sites
see
can
you
we
being
find
kids
you
too.
on, Armando?
Oh, I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I get out. I mingle. I'm out there, baby. I'm out there. Loving it.
So there's one thing else I want to share with you guys
on.
before we
Good luck.
wrap things up.
Yeah.
So
gotta go.
what are you guys doing on 4th of July?
I got nothing.
You got nothing going on? Okay.
Oh, what's going on?
Armando, 4th Fest at Valley Ranch, okay, from 6 to 10 p.m., okay? It's completely free. We've got the largest fireworks display in Montgomery
Oh,
County.
cool.
100%.
That's a good draw.
2 bands. One is a Brooks and Dunn. I think they're actually called Dunn and Brooks.
That's so cute,
And
a
there's
cover band.
Absolutely. And there's
I
also a
love cover
ZZ
bands.
Top band as well called, I think it's ZZ Tex, I think is what it's called. So,
Good for you guys. We'll
put that link
super,
down
super
below.
cool.
Invite 'em out. Yeah.
100%.
That's a great idea.
So if you don't have anything going on, July 4th
He'll
from
bring a
6 to
date.
10.
Did you say largest fireworks show?
The largest
did.
in Montgomery County, you bet. Absolutely.
I think that's a
Absolutely.
great idea.
Absolutely. And it's free.
You
I mean,
guys
come
are
on out,
investing
have some
into your
fun.
community.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
wonderful.
Big claim there. Big claim.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's wonderful. Armando, will you be bringing a date to that?
Highly likely.
Imagine.
Well, I
Could she get a word in on a date?
Yeah, not in a fireworks show. But I think my daughters would probably be the date for that one.
Aw,
They
they'd love
really
that.
it. Yeah. I had my tour duty. I'm a happy guy. We got a lot of beautiful little daughters, and my home is full and fun. We had a great Father's Day. We look forward to a happy
fantastic.
4th and catching
You
that
have children.
fireworks show.
I do. Yeah.
Awesome.
2 young ladies. Yeah.
There you go. Me too.
2 young ladies.
Oh,
Yep.
that's right. You have 2 weddings.
2 weddings
I hope
to
your
uh,
sales
to think
reps
about.
do.
I haven't given mine
Well,
away.
23 and 19. So
Oh,
I
I have
mean,
23.
they're
8
yeah.
and 12.
My
Yeah,
girl's
yeah.
23.
8 and 12. No, you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
You're right in the
Well,
middle of
middle
it.
school.
She stopped loving me, but she loves me again now.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Y-
back.
You'll
You
be
know, what a good
you'll
sign
be
of
just
things.
fine. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, you'll be just fine.
Well, I'm going to retire now, and we're going to go to the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of the show.
Awesome.
And Derrick, I want to thank you again for coming. in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks for
so much
coming.
for having me. I really enjoyed the time.
I'll put the link to the July 4th event.
Absolutely.
There so people can go. I'll also put a
Spectacular.
few other links. And remember to go see our friend Freddie George is out there at Lexington Heights on 1097 West. You can go visit with him in that property there. You can come out and catch the fireworks show at Valley Ranch on 4th of July.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
God bless. Well, hey,
Thank you,
guys,
Derrick.
we'll see you right back after this with the Puncher Texas Ticket segment of the show.
Lone Star Radio on my mind. So won't you kick your feet up if you have.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
The Texas Ticket Show. This is Armando and Miss O'Shea
Hello.
with the Puncher Texas Ticket segment of the show.
We're going to try to keep Armando under control.
Ish.
Let's see.
Yeah, they might not watch if we tell them I'm fully under
I know.
control. You know, that might not be a good thing. But so I want to run through a lot of things that list local events, local happenings, and stuff that we've got registered here, and stuff that we've picked up along the way. And usually in this segment, if we can figure out stuff that'll help make you a little further Texan, or put more Texan in you, or help your Texan stay strong, you know, keep your Texan strong, you know, we'll bring that up.
Yahoo.
You know, as we find it, it's yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Oh,
Yahoo
man.
is a real yeehaw.
Yahoo.
You can't be.
I'm from Kansas. It's yeehaw, y'all.
You're from Kansas. He was, hey, hi. You should have
Can
been
we cut
high.
that, Derrick? Yahoo.
Well, okay, so the Regional Blood Center is doing the July 2nd blood donation over at the Lone Star Convention Center, and that's right here in Conroe down at the Airport Road, and everybody knows where that's at. If not, you can look through the Lone Star Convention and Expo Center, official name, Wednesday, July 2nd, and it is, what's 2900 a.m.?
What does that mean?
Like 11, I think.
Oh, gosh, they're giving you military time?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
I think that's 11 to 1:30.
They can Google it.
Yeah, Google that.
Google that.
And you get a gift card and everything, a T-shirt
nice.
and a Band-Aid for coming, you know.
Oh. Well, that's really good of them.
They're going to give you a Sandy wipe and a
Wow.
Band-Aid just for showing up.
They're really
and
big.
giving blood. Yeah. Montgomery County Home and Outdoor Living Show coming September 6th and 7th. And if you're in this business, if you're watching this show because you're interested in building homes, preparing homes, this is the place to go. You get pool guys, landscapers, air conditions. The Antique Roadshow lady shows up there.
Sweet.
She won't let me record anything. She's always so, ooh, camera, get out of here. You know, I'm like, oh, wow. Why do they do that? I don't know why they do that.
bad
Why would you
attitude.
want me to cover this? You know, I whatever.
Bad attitude.
Yeah, but very famous, very popular. People bring stuff to her. They know her. You know, I don't
Nice.
know her gig and her routine.
Oh, maybe
and
it's
her,
like for
they're lined up.
suing and stuff. Like she doesn't want it recorded.
I guess maybe.
Like when you have a baby.
But you know, for whatever she's doing it good, I guess, because they're lined up out the door and they know her by
I
name.
love it.
Yeah. Michael Berry's out there from time to. Actually, I think he sponsors supports the show. But the other guy, Tom Tynan, Tom Tynan.
Oh, okay.
He does that home show on.
Yes.
He's there. He'll physically be
Nice.
there for the home shows, and a few others. You know, so it's neat. I saw one,
Neat.
the bass player for ZZ Top before he passed away over there.
That's
He was just walking down
amazing.
the aisle with his wife. He had a company called Fire and Ice or something like that did patio
They were
decor.
local?
Well, the company
I
traveled
mean, but
the home
he
shows.
lived here.
No, he came to the show.
Okay.
Yeah, but his company or somebody that
They have
he
one here.
investments,
Yeah.
you know, of his or whatever.
Very cool.
But anyway, yeah, home show. Go catch that. Lone Star Convention Center, September 6th and 7th. Tickets are on. I think it's a free event actually, but booths are on sale now. The band Petra will be at Do-Si-Do this Sunday. They'll be out there.
Fun.
You know, I can always tell by the ticket price at Do-Si-Do about the band. You
How
know,
famous they are.
yeah.
They might be great and be
they're at top of the list.
inexpensive, but
Top of the list there.
Right.
So, Star Spangled Salute at the Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion, the free concert, Houston Symphony Orchestra. That's July
That's a
3rd.
good one.
Yep, that is a good one. And it's free, sponsored by ExxonMobil. You can go out and catch that at the Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion for free. It's a good evening entertainment. The Houston Symphony Orchestra in its entirety will be in attendance, so you'll have that show to watch. Outlaw Music Festival, same place, Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion. And this is a
that sounds
mix.
spicy.
Well, I would think so too. Willie Nelson.
Love him.
Willie Nelson.
I've
and
been to
family.
that.
Currently
It's so good.
99 years old.
It's unbelievable.
Right? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's an advertisement for bad living, man. He's done anything he wanted his whole life.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and it's and family and it's and friends, right? So there's
Nice.
other artists and other folks there. And man, if 99 doesn't hit that, you should go see him. If you haven't, you
That's
should.
really cool.
You know, so Outlaw Music Festival, Willie Nelson and family, Bob Dylan will be in attendance.
I've been to that where Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson were there.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool.
The Everett Brothers
Just to
will
say you've
also be
been
there.
there.
The Mavericks, Tammy Nielsen, and more. There's more, you know. So all this is going
wonderful.
on July 6th. You can catch the Outlaw Music Festival. The Led Zeppelin event, it is a get your lead out kind of event. These were typically done in Houston at the laser light shows, and where you just went out on the lawn, you put a blanket down, and you just
Yeah.
enjoyed the show, and you listened to Led Zeppelin. So in the amphitheater there at the Cynthia Mitch Woods Pavilion, with the same history of these kind of shows, free event. Free of it. They put free on there. Okay, the Willie Nelson one, the Outlaw one's not free.
Yeah, it's not, but it's
Yeah.
not that expensive.
No,
I've been to
no.
it.
But the Led Zeppelin one and the Houston Symphony or
Very
the Star
cool.
Spangled Salute, these are free events.
That's
Absolutely
really
free.
great.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, if you're on a fixed mortgage payment and you have a high tax rate, you know, these might be some events that you might
That's
want
what
to
our
attend.
taxes
Yeah.
pay for. Our high taxes.
You might want, with all that money you're not able
Right.
to spend. You know.
Right. Here's some free events.
Okay, now another one coming up. Parker McCollum is coming back to Texas. He's coming back here to Montgomery County. He'll be over at the Cynthia Mitch Woods Pavilion. Conroe born in Nashville back. Parker McCollum.
Yahoo!
He'll be down there September 6th on Saturday at the Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion right here in the Woodlands. And you can come visit with him. And he'll probably be over at Cane's before he goes. We don't know that.
Cane's
but
is a favorite.
no, he works the drive-through. You know, when he's in town. You know.
Nice. Picks up a little extra cash,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as one does.
People like it, you know. They line up, get some extra, you know, strips and whatnot. Crinkle cut. Anyway, August 9th. August 9th. Grape Stomp at Bernhardt Winery. Now, if you haven't been to a Grape Stomp, this is the one, right?
I have been to the Bernhardt Winery. I've not done a grape.
This is the most fun you can have in that place, you know.
Have you done it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But, you know, by the time they do it, it's late, it's dark, and everybody's got 3 or 4 good bottles of wine in them over
Yeah.
a long period of time, and a great concert, and a great farmer's market, and a great
fun.
meander about, you know, the woods for a minute. They got a new pavilion out there. Gorgeous
It's really
place.
pretty, yeah.
And, you know, killing all that time and getting to there, by the time you're stomping, you're sloshing. You know, you're in it.
Yeah,
Well,
for
I'm
sure.
ready to get dirty at this
Yeah,
point. You
you're
know,
gonna be full of
I'm
grapes.
already dirty. It's dark. I've been sweating, drinking wine for 6 hours. You know, I mean, we're
That's right.
get my shoes off. I can't wait to get those shoes off. Yeah, yeah. And I
dancing.
asked Jerry Bernhardt if he, what do you do with that wine? And he said, well, we don't.
The
use
foot
this.
wine?
Yeah, we don't use that.
That might be that barefoot wine,
Yeah, they don't. No.
right? We've heard of barefoot.
That's why it's so inexpensive.
Right?
They don't waste a thing down there.
The $2 Chuck.
No, they do.
I'm kidding. I
I
don't
do
wanna
not
be
use
sued.
that one. It's really
No.
for having fun and getting into it and for the
neat.
spirit of the event and the old "I Love Lucy" segment
Exactly,
of,
like
of the
Lucy.
show. Yeah, Granny Camp. Granny Camp is the one
yeah.
all inclusive. This one is the all inclusive Granny Camp. All grannies welcome, and they're going to do and show and sell granny stuff right here downtown Conroe, which to me says a lot, right? And I think that's different for everybody. But what you will find is a good list of that stuff at Granny TX. Let me give you that. The Collective Downtown Conroe, Granny Camp CTX. Now, strawberry candies, granny inspired. The list is Afghans. It goes on and
Yeah.
on.
Definitely Afghans and
This
granny
list
squares.
is crazy. A Granny Camp weekend from July 12th, 10 to 2 at 213 North Thompson Street here in Conroe at the Collective in downtown Conroe. And they're gonna do this event there. And I can't tell you. I'm going. I'm gonna go check it out. I want to see what Grandma's got going on.
should.
I'm looking for flour tortillas and no, yeah. You know, I think that's about.
Looks like a great schedule of events.
Yeah. You know, they're still doing steak night every Tuesday over at Papa's Ice House, and they also coming up on the 28th. I think the 28th and 29th. The Examiners are on the 28th, and the Touchstones. Tubi and the Touchstones on the 29th. And I think that's this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
At Papa's.
Yeah. And guys, I want to thank y'all for coming. I also want to thank a special thanks to my friends over at Conley Cooling and Heating. I'm not a sponsor of the show or anything, but really been good friends and really helping me along and doing some different things in our programs and working with helping to bring coverage with GolakeConroe, company I work with. You can call Conley Cooling and Heating at 936-297-3079. 936-297-3079.
Essential in this weather.
Yeah, it breaks. They got to have an AC guy. And, that's all I had for the show. And I want to thank you for coming on very much so. I want to thank our friends here at Lone Star Community Radio
fun.
and all the folks that took the time to come. First American Homes, Signorelli Properties, as well as Guadalajara's doing a complimentary buffet and happy hour from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. You can go there and get free food.
I bet you love that place.
Oh, yeah. 3 to 6, I
Got
do.
your name
3 to 6, I
all
do.
over it.
They tell me free.
That's your middle name.
Chicken. There's beef, chicken fajitas. There's chicken nuggets. You name it. It's really good. They have good food down there. 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. You can go down and visit with those guys. But guys, again, if you'd like to contribute or support the show in any way, you can make a donation on the link down below. Buy us a cup of coffee. Get some of our swag. Make a donation to the station. We'd love to have you. If you'd like to appear on the show or you'd like to have your business supported on the Texas Ticket Show, just give us a call. The link's down below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week right here on the Texas Ticket.